So I was gonna do this, I wasn't gonna do this. Alright, here we go.
I've been having a dream, and in it, I'm just a machine. And only she has the potion that can give back emotion to the meaningless thing I'm becoming. She's everywhere, but she can never be seen. She's in the air, if you know what I mean. And I know it will not be easy to sing the song that has yet to be sung. Only you can make one out of two. After all that we've been through, keep on giving me a reason to see life through your eyes.
So, we're gonna talk about one of my favorite subjects, Tolkien and the Middle Earth. I don't care what anyone says, Tolkien might just be the greatest writer in the history of history. So Tolkien, you know, he wrote The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings and some other miscellaneous stories about Middle Earth. If you guys didn't know who Tolkien was, which would be a shame. But Tolkien is one of the most brilliant minds of the 20th century. This reason being, he didn't just write a story and blah 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 and that's it. He wrote a universe, pretty much. He wrote an entire history of people, of a society, of whatever you want to call it. Tolkien was a huge fan of mythology, of linguistics. He wrote an entire history of Middle Earth, starting from the beginning of how it was created. And if you don't know what Middle Earth is more of a country. It's not like the middle of an actual Earth. It's like United States or Great Britain or Chad or Djibouti, whatever. It's a country. Just to inform you. There's other countries next to it. There's it doesn't really get into much. He doesn't get into too much detail, especially in like Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit and whatnot. But there's also Numenor. Shit, I just forgot what the name is. That Numenor? Okay, it's Numenor. Numenor. I said it a little bit wrong, but it's alright. Alright, so Tolkien was huge in linguistics, and he wrote 14 different languages, which is pretty insane, really. And most people think that he wrote Middle Earth and then wrote these languages, but no, actually, he wrote the languages first and then wrote the history for the languages, and that's how we get to Middle Earth and the Elvish languages and the Dwarvish languages, and of course, Mordor. Speaking on Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit, I always hate it when people call The Hobbit a prequel to Lord of the Rings, because it's not. The Hobbit was written before Lord of the Rings, and it was written actually for Tolkien's children. He wanted to write them a bedtime story, and that's how we get The Hobbit. And fun fact, the Riddles in the Dark scene with Gollum, or Schmeagol, whatever you want to call him, in the original telling of The Hobbit, Tolkien wrote it where Gollum actually gave the ring up willingly when he lost. And he rewrote it in the newer version of The Hobbit, which we read now, where he lost the ring, Bilbo found it, and it was to show how much power the ring had over Gollum. Those who don't know, Necromancer is actually Sauron, which is who you sort of see depicted in Peter Jackson's The Hobbit, which came out last month. He's showing this, which wasn't written in The Hobbit. It wasn't written in it, but it was in I think it was in the Unfinished Tales that it was written in, how Sauron came back to power, and that's what he's starting to show, and I'm pretty sure he's going to elaborate more on how Sauron comes back and how he becomes the Eye of Sauron in Mordor. And for those who hated on Radagast, I think, yes, it was a bit childish and whatnot, but that's actually how Radagast should be. He's supposed to be dim-witted. He's supposed to be a dim-witted wizard. And Saruman isn't supposed to believe him because he's the brown wizard. And Sauron's the white wizard and whatnot. And doesn't believe him because he thinks he's better than Radagast. You say this right now, but I don't care what anyone says. In the history of history, the history of fiction, whatever, Gandalf is the most badass character ever created. He comes back from the dead pretty much, and then destroys Saruman, the white wizard, which Gandalf's now the white wizard. Now in The Hobbit, the best scene ever is definitely the riddles in the dark with Bilbo and Gollum going at it with their riddles and whatnot. It's just fantastic. I love it. Actually, I'm gonna read some riddles. Oh, I just jumped straight to it.
What has roots as nobody sees? It's taller than trees. Up, up it goes, and yet never grows.
Which, of course, is easy. It's a mountain. It's a mountain, if you didn't get that. Alright, here's another one.
This thing all things devours. Birds, beasts, trees, flowers. Gnaws iron, bites steel. Grinds hard stones to your meal. Slays king, ruins town, and beats high mountain down.
Which is time. Which Gollum's definitely like one of the best characters ever, especially the way Andy Serkis portrays him and whatnot. And I mean, really, he deserves an award for Gollum. I mean, really, who could have done it better? I don't know. Spoiler. In the next Hobbit movies, I don't know whether it'll be in the next one or the third one. I can't wait for this. It's gonna be amazing. It's the Battle of Five Armies, which, if you don't know, it is pretty much a giant battle of 5 different armies consisting of the goblins, the wargs of Moria, Gondabad, and the Misty Mountains. And those 3 are against the men of Long Lake and the elves of Mirkwood and the dwarves of near the Lonely Mountain. And it's just gonna be phenomenal. I can't wait for it. One thing I wish that they would have put like in the extended versions of Lord of the Rings, which I love watching, is Tom Bombadil. Tom Bombadil. Which is like one of the coolest things in the Fellowship of the Ring, is when the hobbits go to Tom Bombadil's house and some cool stuff happens and whatnot, which I can't remember, which is unfortunate. I need to reread the books. For those, some people like get this mixed up a lot. I'm just gonna tell you, the Nazguls aren't the dragons. The Nazguls are the ring wraiths. I understand, like, it gets like confusing. I was confused as a child. It wasn't until like a couple years ago that I actually realized the Nazguls are the ring wraiths. You know, the ring wraiths. The ring wraiths are like, you know, the guys in black. Guys going after the ring, stabbing Frodo with a Morgul blade, which has poison in it and it disappears. And, you know, it's not good for Frodo. There's so much more I could talk about. I might have to make another video. Right now I'm all over the place. So I'll probably make another video. If you like this, like it. Tell me what you want. Tell me some Tolkien things if you want to comment on that and whatnot. But remember, Sauron's eye is always watching, so be careful. And have a fabulous day.